The term opiate was used originally to designate narcotic drugs derived from opium, that is, morphine, 6-monoacetylmorphine, codeine, codecilline, and folcodine, prepared from the seed capsules of the poppy Papaver somniferum. Later, the term opioid was coined to refer in a generic sense to all drugs, natural and synthetic, that have morphine-related actions, as well as to the endogenous peptides such as dynorphin A, endorphin, and kephalin, later discovered to have such actions. The opioids induce their biologic effects by interacting with three major classes of receptors, the delta, kappa, and mu receptors. More recently, an orphan receptor has been identified and named ORL, or opioid receptor-like, because of a high degree of homology to the classical opioid receptors. The delta receptor, however, is no longer regarded as an opioid receptor. The opioid receptors work by activation of G protein, subsequent inhibition of adenyl cyclase, and activation of receptor-operated potassium channels, or suppression of receptor-operated calcium channels. Binding to the mu and delta receptors leads to the opening of the potassium channel, whereas binding to kappa sites result in closing of calcium channels. As a result, membrane hyperpolarization and neuronal suppression occurs. Opioid receptors function primarily by exerting inhibitory modulation of synaptic transmission in both the CNS and the myoteric plexus.
The dangers of opioid overdose have been recognized for as long as the use of opium itself. Overdose from illicit opioid use has increased in many countries over the past decade, as has the illicit production, transportation, and consumption of opioids, especially heroin. Higher production, increasing purity, and lower prices have considerably contributed to the worldwide expansion of opioid use. In 2004, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration and the Drug Abuse Warning Network estimated that 19.1 million Americans ages 12 or older, about 7.9% of the population, were current illicit drug users. An estimated 300,000 persons in the United States suffer from heroin dependence or abuse, and 118 persons have used heroin for the first time within the past 12 months, with an average age of initiation of 24 years. The number of injectors has been estimated to be about 5.3 million worldwide, which appears to be constant. For 2003, the American Association of Poison Control Centers reported that 22,600 opioid overdose among the 270,000 exposures to analgesics, around 8%, which resulted in 213 of 656 deaths, around 35% attributed to this pharmacologic class. Opioids represent the most lethal illicit drug, with most of the fatalities occurring in young males, resulting in 33,662 potential years of life lost and 42 years of life lost per death. A dependent heroin injector has a 20 to 30 times greater estimated risk for premature death than a similar age non-drug using person. Mechanism of toxicity. In general, opioids share the ability to stimulate a number of specific opioid receptors in the CNS, causing sedation and respiratory depression. Death results from respiratory failure, usually as a result of apnea or pulmonary aspiration of the gastric contents. In addition, acute non-cardiogenic pulmonary edema may occur by unknown mechanisms. Pharmacokinetics or toxicokinetics. In opioid overdoses, dosage, duration, and route of administration may influence symptoms and their duration. Thus, considering opioid pharmacokinetic properties is useful in understanding their toxicologic consequences and choosing the best methods of treatment. Absorption. Variable reduction in bioavailability results from the first-pass metabolism when absorbed through the GI tract. Morphine bioavailability by the oral route is only 25%, in contrast to codeine at 60%. Buprenorphine undergoes extensive first-pass metabolism after oral administration, making the sublingual route mandatory for a bioavailability of 50%. Protein binding and any interaction that alters it also play a vital role in the pharmacodynamics. The range of protein-bound opioid varies from a low of 7% for codeine to greater than 90% for methadone and buprenorphine. Depression in albumin and other serum proteins, resulting in decreased binding, may produce higher levels of free opioid with possible opioid toxicity. Changes in serum pH may also alter protein binding of opioids. Distribution. Transport system proteins, such as P-glycoproteins, may also influence tissue distribution. Crossing the blood-brain barrier is dependent on lipid solubility and polarity and influences clinical effects. Heroin or diacetylmorphine enters the brain more readily than both of its metabolites, 6-monoacetylmorphine and morphine, explaining its greater addictive potential. Metabolism. Opioids generally undergo hepatic metabolism with some form of conjugation, hydrolysis, oxidation, or dealkylation. Some of the resulting metabolites have been implicated in the activity or recognized toxic side effects of various opioids. Examples of this include the metabolism of codeine to morphine, morphine to the more active morphine 6-glucuronide, buprenorphine to norbuprenorphine, meperidine to the potentially neurotoxic normeperidine, and propoxyphene to the potentially cardiotoxic norpropoxyphene. Cytochrome genotype appears to be an important parameter in opioid efficacy or toxicity. Small doses of codeine, which is bioactivated into morphine by cytochrome P40-2D6, may be responsible for life-threatening intoxication in patients with allele patterns inducing ultra-rapid metabolism in combination with inhibition of cytochrome P450 3A4 activity and a transient reduction in renal function. Excretion. Excretion of opiates occurs primarily via the renal route, with about 90% of the opioid metabolites eventually being excreted in the urine, usually via glomerular filtration. A small amount may end up in the GI tract via enterohepatic circulation. The urinary detection of opioids or metabolites is a routinely used diagnostic test. The presence of 6-MAM in the urine is a reliable marker of recent heroin consumption because humans cannot acetylate morphine but only the acylated heroin. Renal failure leads to toxic effects via accumulated drug or active metabolites, morphine 6-glucuronide or normeperidine. Hepatic dysfunction results in delayed liver metabolism of certain opioids such as meperidine, pentazocine, and propoxyphene, leading to accumulation and development of central nervous system or respiratory depression. Usually, peak effects occur within 2 to 3 hours, but absorption may be slowed by their pharmacologic effects on GI motility.
Recognition. Varying degrees of the classic opiate toxidrome such as mental status depression, respiratory depression, meiosis, and decreased bowel motility may manifest in patients administered opioids. Clinical manifestations. For mild to moderate overdose, lethargy is common. Pupils are usually small, often pinpoint size. Blood pressure and pulse rate are decreased, bowel sounds are diminished, and muscles are usually flaccid. At higher doses, coma is accompanied by respiratory depression. Apnea often results in sudden death, and non-cardiogenic pulmonary edema may occur, often after resuscitation and administration of the opiate antagonist naloxone. Seizures are not common after opioid overdose but occur occasionally with certain compounds such as codeine, dextromethorphan, meperidine, propoxyphene, and tramadol. Seizures may occur in patients with renal compromise who receive repeated doses of meperidine owing to accumulation of the metabolite normeperidine. Cardiotoxicity similar to that seen with tricyclic antidepressants and quinidine can occur with severe propoxyphene intoxication. Opioid withdrawal syndrome can cause anxiety, piloerection or goosebumps, abdominal cramps, and diarrhea and insomnia. Diagnosis. Diagnosis is simple when typical manifestations of opiate intoxication are present, and the patient quickly awakens after administration of naloxone. Signs of intravenous drug abuse, such as needle marks, may be present. Specific levels are not usually performed because of poor correlation with clinical effects. Qualitative screening of the urine is an effective way to confirm recent use. Other useful laboratory studies include electrolytes, glucose, arterial blood gas or oximetry, chest X-ray, and stat serum acetaminophen or salicylate levels if ingested overdose was of a combination product. Treatment: emergency and supportive measures. Maintain open airway and assist ventilation if necessary. Administer supplemental oxygen. Treat coma, seizures, hypotension, and non-cardiogenic pulmonary edema. Specific drugs and antidotes. Naloxone. It is a specific opioid antagonist. Administer naloxone 0.4 to 2 milligrams IV. Repeat doses every 2 to 3 minutes if there is no response, up to a total dose of 10 to 20 milligrams if an opioid overdose is strongly suspected. Caution: the duration of effect of naloxone, which is 1 to 2 hours, is shorter than that of many opioids. Therefore, do not release a patient who has awakened after naloxone treatment until at least 3 to 4 hours has passed since the last dose of naloxone. Nalmefene. Nalmefene has longer duration of effect, which is 3 to 5 hours. It may be given in doses of 0.1 to 2 milligrams IV with repeated doses up to 10 to 20 milligrams if an opioid overdose is strongly suspected. Caution: although the duration of effect is longer than that of naloxone, it is still much shorter than that of methadone. If a methadone overdose is suspected, patients should be observed for at least 8 to 12 hours after the last dose of nalmefene. Sodium bicarbonate. This may be effective for QRS interval prolongation or hypotension associated with propoxyphene poisoning. Decontamination. Administer activated charcoal orally if conditions are appropriate. Gastric lavage is not necessary after small to moderate ingestions.